All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Hi. All right. Let's see your good morning. Let's see your pretty faces, please. There we are. Okay. So today, happy Saturday. Buongiorno. We're going to be continuing with what I consider to be the most important part of the course, right? And the most important part of the course is how do we actually look out into our world and say, all right, I see this, I see that, I see this happening, I see that happening. And that's and those are all indicators of who you were, right? Those are all indicators of the person you used to be. Maybe now, maybe before, maybe ages ago. I had this weird thing. I think I told you guys. I was writing poetry at the beginning of the year. I was writing a lot. And when I reread it, like I don't even recognize myself. And so this is the other cool thing. Okay, so once you've become kind of a karmic investigator, a karmic scientist, you kind of forget. You kind of forget like the seeds change so much that you don't even remember the person that you were. Right. And I mean, that's an obvious thing if we're thinking about like, oh, past lives. Like who can remember their past life? So I think some people might be able to, but generally seeds change so much that you forget. Hell, I can't even remember who I was 9 months ago, 10 months ago. Like how the hell are you going to remember who you were like generations ago or lifetimes ago, right? Because things change so quickly. And you still have a bank account that you deposited into it many, many years ago, or many, many ages ago, where seeds are going to ripen from. So you can look at your general environment, you can look at the things that are generally happening to you and get a sense of what some of those things were. And then it can give you insight into, well, what do I have to do differently now? Right? What do I have to do that will prevent those things from happening again, provided all the other seeds have gone out, right? What can I do now to prevent the things that I don't like? Secondly, what can I do now to do the things that are more, I don't know, that are just better, like better experiences, right? What do you want to design? And those things aren't always that obvious. And we're not even sure what the different and that's why we have to go to these classes to know what the karma correlations are. But so like in that sense, it's like when you're looking, like if you have this vision, like we talk about this vision of, oh, I'm going to become a Buddha. I have a wish to become a being who can take care of all beings. Right? I have this wish. Okay. I think some of you might have it too. Like, I want to be able to do this, But how do you, that's such a huge, like, really? Okay. If you're, I don't know, maybe you guys are different than me, but I'm like, if I'm really honest with myself, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, what does it even mean to like take care of all living beings? How many? Oh my God, that's so many. Like it's so many, right? Shit, right? So what do we do to be able to start designing that? What are some of the things that we can start doing to create that? And we go step by step. And that's the point of the karmic correlations is design the future you want. Okay, so you can start with a future that's, okay, let's be slightly selfish, but it's not selfish. Let's get the things that are good for us. Right? What are the things that are good for us? Family, maybe, maybe money, maybe energy, you know, maybe your body needs to be healthier. I don't know, whatever the thing is. Like, get there. Let's go there. And of course, it's not that selfish. Why? Why? Because you're actually helping other people get the things that you want. So you're actually giving the good things to other people first. Not a problem, right? So it's not selfish. But when we're trying to imagine a perfected paradise, you know, that's too big for me. So I just work with the world that I have in front of me. Okay. So that's what we're investigating. That we're investigating a summary in the sense of the top 10 things that you can do, which are actually much harder than they sound. And they can be really easy too. That will create the foundation for that to start showing up for you. So let's review where we were, and then we're going to continue on today. And just so it's not a surprise today. Again, my teacher is teaching at the top of the hour. So we're only going to have an hour class today. All right, so let's go through this. First, in the negative sense, the first thing is don't harm. It says don't kill living beings. But maybe if we thought of it a little bit differently and said don't harm living beings, like that's a little bit of a different circle, right? Don't kill living beings, including yourself. Don't inspire others to do it. Don't go to the grocery store and pick up a hamburger and have somebody, which you then by implication have asked somebody else to kill that cow. You see. Now I'm not saying being a vegetarian is the only option, but you got to think about it. But I like to think of it as don't harm other people, protect other people's life. Like, don't do small things that could harm people. Then you won't ever kill anyone. Right. So that's the first one. Protect life. And what does that mean to protect life? And why would protecting life be a cause for Buddhahood? Why don't we just kill off all those assholes who are causing us problems? Then they just go away, right? Don't put that on social media. Don't take me out of context. Why don't we just kill all the people we don't like? Then they're not there anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I've been up since 4:30. Wake up. I'm the only one who had to get up at this freaking hour. Those are all right answers in the chat, but that's not what I'm looking for. No, no. I mean, sure. What's the karmic result of killing? There you go. Got it. Okay, there you go. You got it. Like, your life is short. You go to lower realms. It has nothing to do with the other people. Here's the selfish side. Not really, you will have a short life. If you want to become a being who's capable of serving all beings at the same time, past, present, and future, forever, don't make other people's life not forever. Okay, it's a back and forth thing. It's not selfish either way. Okay, like you have to feel it out. That's why it blocks you, it blocks them. All those other things are correct. All right, here we go. I'm not giving the same class again. Let's go to number 2. Don't take something that hasn't been given to you. Now, don't get smart on me and have somebody else steal it and then have that person give it to you. Okay. Oh, Anastasia, go steal $1 million from the bank. All right. So she goes, steals $1 million from the bank, and then she gives it to me, and she gave it to me. Right. The definition is don't take anything that's not given to you. Okay. Debate ground is so much fun. Like, you think of these ridiculous examples. All right. Yeah. So don't get other people to do it for you either. Like, that's what the mafia does. The mafia boss doesn't do anything bad. That's why the mafia boss is the mafia boss. I didn't do that. I didn't steal that. I didn't kill that person. What are you talking about? Right? Their hands are clean. Now, they may have had someone else do it. Right? So, all right. The third one, we spent significant time on this one about, oh, before I move on to that, think of it in a positive way. Protect other people's stuff, other people's things, other people's belongings. If somebody is protecting their stuff, help them protect their stuff. So the third one is for many forms of sexual misconduct, which mainly means adultery, which mainly means not getting involved with somebody else's partner. Or if you have a partner, not getting involved with somebody else. Okay. I had an interesting question come to me yesterday about what do you do in cultures that are more polygamous, in the sense of like one husband with many wives, or one wife with many husbands, something like that. It's usually the other way around because it's disrespectful. Anyway, so what do you do? Like, and so let's analyze this really quickly. It's hard to judge other people's cultures, right? But if it's consensual, everyone's in agreement, everybody knows what's going on, and they agree to it. If it's not hurting anybody, I don't know. But it seems to me that those types of cultures, especially where it's like, in some cultures, it's, and let's like, that's not really a big issue in much of the world, essentially, but where it is in lots of places accepted is where men are married and it's okay to have mistresses. It's okay to have side relationships. Well, depends who it's okay with, right? There's cultures where, you know, men just behave that way and everyone just kind of accepts it. You know, what is it? Is it acceptable? Right. And Buddhism's really clear on it. It's like if if people are getting hurt, if you're in a committed relationship and you're doing something with somebody else and nobody knows about it, and you're just doing it on the side, it's wrong. It's you have to think about the karma of it. It's wrong in the sense of the karma, not right. What seeds are you planting? You're planting division, you're planting jealousy, you're planting feelings of pain and suffering and disrespect. Like, I mean, depends how you feel. Like, if you've ever been cheated on, how do you feel? Okay. Some people feel good. They're like, yes, finally I can dump the guy. Okay. But no, like, but how you feel is going to be also unique to you, right? Like, what does it do for you? Like, did you feel jealous? Did you feel disrespected? Does your heart hurt? Are you like, I don't know. Are you hurt that you thought you had an intimate relationship and you could talk about everything? You know, you know, what if you are attracted to somebody else and you're in a committed relationship? You know, what if you had that conversation? Hey, I have this attraction for somebody else. I don't know, right? That's gonna be a hard conversation too, but it's probably a lot easier conversation than finding out that your spouse has been cheating on you. I don't know. Like it's not, you got to understand, guys, that it's not always black and white. None of these things are ultimately black and white. And when you get all the rules together, if you get your Vinaya vows and your Bodhisattva vows and your Tantric vows, and you put them all into a book, where's my book? Somewhere around here. Shit, I dropped it. My book is sitting in the rain right now outside my car. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. My vows are getting wet. It's whatever. So, um, you have to get subtle in how you treat people, right? So how do you care for, like, you know, your own desire, really? Like, and how do you care for the desire of others? And then what does the desire of your partner bring up in you, right? Does it bring up jealousy? Like, what if your partner is not flirting with somebody else, but they're just talking to someone else, right? They're talking to the coworker, right? And you look at the coworker and you're like, oh, well, that coworker's maybe more beautiful than me. Okay. Is he flirting with her? Well, he seems to be happy. Well, look at that body language, right? Do you interpret it as flirting? Right. And then you say something to him and he's like, what are you talking about? And then you start a fight. And then a fight gets started. Okay. Right. So like, what did that do to you? Like, what did it, what emotions came up in you? Were you jealous? Were you insecure? Were you worried that, you don't have that interaction in the same way? Or did you want that interaction with your husband? You saw it with somebody else and it's not happening to you. Okay. It gets subtle, my friends. You know, that's why we have to be very, very careful with what we think, say, and do. So if you're experiencing jealousy, first, look at the ways that you're jealous, right? What you just did, right? You just saw that you were jealous and then you did it, right? But then, that doesn't mean don't have a conversation, but like, how do you have a conversation that's not accusatory, but like, hey, I experienced some jealousy when I saw that. Like, that made me feel uncomfortable. Like, I want to explore this, you know. Anyway, it gets complicated. This is why the sexual misconduct thing, I think, frankly, I think it should be number one. Even though I think killing is probably karmically worse. I think maybe it's because it's karmically worse. It's number one on the first on the list. I don't know, but 10 seems pretty bad too. Anyway, the point is, it's complicated. Like our sexuality and our desires and the rules of our cultures around our sexuality and our relationships. All of those things are complicated and are mashed together and are ready to start fires. Okay. Right. A whole government, like people lose their jobs over stuff like this. Oh, although strangely in the United States, it doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. But, you know, typically like having an adulterous affair would lose your job in office. Like you've been elected to the office and you lose it, right? Well, or at least some people would lose respect for you, right? Like my mom, like for example, my mom didn't vote for Hillary Clinton when she was running against Donald Trump. Why? Because she because she said Hillary Clinton didn't leave her husband, Bill Clinton, when it came out that he was having an affair with his intern. Okay, get that? Okay. So Bill Clinton had an affair, an ex-president of the United States had an affair with his intern. Okay, it was a huge deal, right? Now, whatever happened in their relationship, they stayed together, right? We didn't see what happened in the background. We didn't see how they negotiated it. We didn't see the fights, you know, we didn't see any of that. But because, in my mom's mind, because Hillary Clinton didn't leave her husband for cheating on her, my mom decided not to vote for her. Okay. My mom saw that as sexual misconduct, right? In her mind. All right. I'm not saying whether, this is not a judgment on any of it, right? But it's her experience of it, right? It goes deep, it's embedded deeply in us. So you got to think about it. my summary, think about it. Meditate on it. Meditate on how it affects you, and how it affects other people. And that's really the way to evaluate it, right? How does it affect you? If you see it in other people, you know, how do you feel about it? Does that feel good? No. Okay. What doesn't feel good about it? Why doesn't it feel good? And then work on the karmas there. And then for the love of God, don't do it to other people. And being a human is complicated. So the fourth one is about lying, right? Which means the impression in your mind is different than the impression in everyone else's mind, which is a very subtle thing. Okay. Next one, divisive speech. Okay. This one in the positive is just speak truthfully. And I've always say, if you speak the truth, you don't have to remember it. You spoke truth. You've, yeah. Just speak the truth and you don't have to remember anything. Then you might have the karma to remember everything. Think about that. All right. So divisive speech, like don't say things that separate people. Right. It was funny. Last night we were actually here. We're at Stanley and Allison's house. And we were doing some of the university classes. And all of a sudden, there was this thing that happened where somebody was getting a little bit, was chatting with on their phone. We're trying to get information. It was asking everybody the same question, and everyone was giving the same answer to this person, but nobody knew that each of us was chatting with them. Okay. Okay. So this person who wasn't here was writing all of us. Blah, blah, blah. Right. So, and then I was trying to be super professional about it. And I made a comment to someone. I said, hey, you might hear from this person about this. This isn't going to be possible. And then my friend said, wait, they wrote you too? They wrote this person and this person and this person. And then we were outside and all of a sudden, all of us were talking about this person. Right? We were all having this weird experience. And it's been a weird experience for a while. And I just was like, oh, fuck. I was like, this is exactly what divisive speech is. It was like a perfect example. Here's a bunch of people who are talking about somebody, a bunch of Dharma practitioners. It's fucking embarrassing. Okay. Right. And we were like, oh, it was like this was a separation. Like, it was not an inclusive thing. If that person had been there, they would have felt terrible. And then there was this feeling of here's a group of people who don't want this person around, right? The words were like, go away. So, yeah. So, you know what the Dharma cop did, Tracy? Me, because I'm the only Dharma cop. I'm my own Dharma. I'm my own Dharma police. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. Do not be Dharma police for other people. Okay. Don't look at other people and be like, and judge how they're keeping their vows. If you see them hurting people, if you're keeping your vows well, then find a nice, comfortable, relaxed way to have a discussion with them. But only if you're keeping your vows well. And if you're not keeping your vows well, that's your problem. Get it? If you're keeping your commitments well and you see somebody else hurting someone else, then, find a good time to talk to them about it when they're able to hear it. But be your own Dharma police. So, what I did in that moment? I turned around and walked away. I just was like, I needed an excuse. And I was like, it's like, guys, I got to go home. I have to teach in the morning. Bye. And I just left. Seriously. I was like, this is bad. This is so wrong. Right. That's what Trace said, walk away. And then I couldn't get out because my car was blocked in. And I was like, oh God, I have an obstacle to like getting out of this affliction. Anyway, that's how it goes. Okay. So seriously, like say things to bring people together. I have to do all this confession to like, anyway, it's a different story. Okay. Next, harsh speech using gentle words. Okay. We talked about this. Like, even if you're upset with somebody, can you find gentle ways to say that? It's hard. It's really hard to say, it's very hard to be gentle when you're pissed off. Anastasia is like, yes, I know. But can you find the kindest way to express. And usually I find, and this is just advice for me, is that speak from how you feel, not from what somebody did. I had it's like, like I'm feeling upset, or I'm feeling jealous, or I'm feeling excluded, or I'm, whatever those feelings are. I'm feeling disrespected. I'm not feeling heard. And then you can say, when I speak with, when I'm sharing this, I'm experiencing that I'm not being heard. And I'm wondering, like, and that's how I'm feeling. So then that person knows. They might get defensive, they might start yelling at you, but then they know, then they can start thinking about, well, are they really listening? I mean, if they start yelling at you, it's probably proof that they're not listening. Right. But find ways to say things nicely. My teacher is a master of telling me when I'm being a jerk. It's so nice. Sometimes it's weird to feel nice when your llama criticizes you, but that's a good way. Can you be criticized in a nice way? It's an artwork. It's an artwork. Okay. Where are we? Okay, now we've now reviewed. Now we're going to continue on. And frankly, before I say continue on, I think it's okay that we take time. This is the crux of what to take away from this course. Like, how do you start living this? How do you start taking this out of the classroom? Like, how do you start, when you're standing around with your other Dharma practitioner friends, and they start gossiping about someone, and quite frankly, this person is annoying. I experience them as Tim experiences them as annoying. They're not annoying from their own side. But you know what's worse is when everybody else has that same seed. And everyone goes, yeah, that person's annoying. And then we go, yeah. And then we're like, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe that. No, I can't believe that. Oh, this person is married. Do you think that person finds them equally as annoying? I mean, I can't handle the person for 10 minutes. But clearly, there's somebody in this person's life who lives with them, and they live more than 10 minutes together. So clearly, duh, there's someone out there that doesn't find him annoying. But that's the problem, right? Collectively, a group of, and it's only 10 people. There's 10 people in the world that find this person annoying. Well, guess what? That's why we're together. We're sharing a karma. That's why we're together. There could be a billion other people in the world that are like, that person's completely normal. You guys are the annoying ones. And that's how groups start. And that's how wars start. See how quick a little bit of gossip can turn into a war? You people are annoying. All of you act like that. They act like that. They are like that. We aren't like that. We're better. We don't do that. They do that. Those theys over there are having the same effing conversation about you. Can't believe those people over there think they're better than we are. You see? So this is why this is important. So next thing on the list is idle talk. Wasted speech. When you're doing your mantras. You don't think about their meaning. You're just reciting. Lunch. I can't. What's on my sandwich? That's what you do. And it doesn't have, and this is why this is different, is that it's not directed at a person. It's just random things. Like you're just saying useless things. You're joking, you're whining, you're complaining, all of these things. Sitting on Instagram and scrolling, Oh, so Tim, ACI shouldn't have an Instagram channel because we're creating divisive speech or idle speech. Anastasia, I'm sorry, we're canceling our Instagram account because we're causing idle speech in people. That's not what I'm saying, of course. So here we go. We're going to go a little bit deeper. What does idle speech create? No one respects you. People don't think what you have to say is valuable. If you want to be a leader, you need to look at your value. You have to look at the way your idle speech, the things that you say that are meaningless. If you want people to, I don't care. Do you want a title? I'll give you a title, right? That doesn't mean people are going to listen to you, right? It's like, people get promoted often into positions because they've done well in one, but they don't have the karma for another. I've seen it. I've done it. I've messed up. I've put people in positions that didn't have the karma for it and no one listened to them. So it's like, if you want to be a leader, look at your joyful effort, A, and then secondly, look at how much you say. Yes, it's fun at times to be, I didn't say don't joke around. I don't say don't, there's times when you just need to laugh, right? But what's the purpose of laughing, right? Or are you just someone who comes in a room and just starts talking about every single person you saw on the street, right? Got to think about it. So in the, in your environment, again, their answers are mainly is about crops, right? But fruits don't grow right. They don't grow. Like they just refuse to grow on trees, or they grow at the wrong times. Or this is kind of a fun thing. Fruits seem to be ripe when they're not. And that's a result of idle speech. Do you ever open up a banana that looked ripe and then it tasted awful? I don't know. I have. It's like, oh, that's a ripe banana, and you eat it and it's like, you're like, it's disgusting, right? What else? The result of idle speech is that there's no places for leisure. There's no parks. There's no places of cool water for like just thinking if it's hot outside, right? Things around you generally just make you afraid. And I like that. That's interesting. Like if you can't find a place to relax, shut your mouth, shut your mind, shut off Instagram. All right. Maybe there's something going on there. Which one's a t-shirt, Tracy?
If you can't find a place to relax, shut up. Shut your mouth.
That's great. All right. Next one. What is this picture about? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I remember. This picture is about craving. Okay. The ones we just talked about are all things you do in the world, like actions. You protect life, you protect other people's stuff, you protect other people's relationships. You speak honestly, you speak inclusively, you speak with kind words, and you speak meaningfully. Okay. These next three are things that you do in your mind. And these three, if you guys remember from several classes ago, are the basis of those 7 actions. So these 3 that we're going through are poisons, essentially, in your mind that then cause you to do things. Okay. And so this one is basically jealousy. This is the wish to have something that somebody else has that you don't. Okay. And what's interesting about this is that there's a lot of other components to it. So in this picture, okay, this guy is upset at the other guy because the guy has the hot girl. Okay. Now, of course, I like this picture specifically because you can see it in so many different ways, right? Depends how you look at it. Okay. But that's why I like it. But this guy is jealous of the other guy, right? They're in a dance club. It's hot. It's sexy. It's obviously, I don't know why it's raining in the dance club, but apparently that's what happens in dance clubs in my imagination, right? But he craves something that's not his. Okay. So in this way, this jealousy is super powerful, right? So that the thing is like it says there's 5 things for this to be complete, and you have to think about it. Is that you have an attachment to your own possessions, you want more. There's somebody else that has desirable possessions, you want them to become your own. And then because you're overcome by that desire, you have no shame and ability to stop yourself. Okay, I'll say it again. You're attached to your own stuff. You want more things. Somebody has something you don't have. You want it to be your own. And then you're not able to control yourself. And with no shame, you will go after it and try to take it. So in this case, this guy's like, I want her, and jealous of this other guy. All right. So if you think about those 5 things, right? I'm attached to my stuff. I want more of it. I look at other people's stuff. I want their stuff, and then I can't control myself and I want to take their stuff. Like it's not, I mean, things, right? So in that way, those components together is a source of a lot of those other actions. And that's why I use the sexual misconduct picture, right? I have desire. I want more desire because sexual desire is and sexual, in and of itself is usually pleasurable. I want more of that. I see someone else have desire. They have more of it and they have something I want, and I'm going to go take it. Like that's also the basis of pornography. Not always, because it's not self-existent, but a lot of pornography is that. Like that's form of sexual misconduct. Like, it's not okay to go take someone else's partner, so you're satisfying it through a video on the internet. Okay. Or you steal, or you take someone else's things. Understand this is it's the poison. I'm telling you guys about the poison. Okay. That's in our mind. That causes us to do stuff. All right. What are the correlations you'll see in your life, well, we just talked about it. You're controlled by desire. And secondly, you're never satisfied with what you have. Guess what? Our market, our world is based on that. Which iPhone number do you have? Does everyone have the iPhone 15? Because you could get it. You can trade in your old phone and get a new one. Oh, how's your iPhone 15 next September? It works pretty well. I dropped it a little bit. It has a little thingy on it, a little scratch. It works fine. But don't you want the iPhone 16? Trade it in. And in the environment, this now, so here's a thing to know if you have jealousy or is something to work on deeply. Each and everything you try to do, you start gets worse and worse. You try to do something and it fails. Like over time, things get worse and worse. Okay. It's because you have jealousy. Without that jealousy, that craving, things can get better and better. It's an interesting correlation. All right. We are going to finish the 10 today. The next one. Yay. This picture is about ill will. Okay. This is an entire stadium of people celebrating the failure of the team that just lost. All right. This is the World Cup. Argentina wins the World Cup. All right. Does anyone remember who lost? I don't remember who lost. I remember who won. France. Okay. Brazil. No, it was France. I think it was France. Yeah, Christian's like, I don't know. I don't give a shit. Okay. France lost. Okay. Here we go. Everyone in the stadium. Argentina. 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 Right? The players only on the field is France. You're celebrating someone else's failure. And this is why I hate sports. Okay. I love to celebrate people's successes. I love sports in that way. I'm like, great, good job. But God, someone loses. It by design, our society is set up to create ill will. By design. Everyone cheers for the losers. All right. What is the karmic correlation for cheering for the losers? It's when you're happy when somebody else fails. Okay. If you can't find help in your life, it's because you've had ill will. If people don't help you when you need it, you're hurting others or you're being hurt. Okay. This is a poison that we have in our mind. Somehow we rejoice in other people's misfortunes. And in your environment, you're going to see chaos, disease, plague, COVID-19, war, fear from other armies and then going into your country. Well, there's lots of lions and leopards, meaning dangerous animals, snakes and scorpions, right? Harmful spirits, thieves, because you were happy when other people failed. All of those things happen. That's as a poison in your mind, our minds. You see those things. All right. And number 10, wrong views. I couldn't find a good picture for it. So I just put a thumbs down. All right. And what this mainly says, it means rejecting karma, rejecting cause and effects. It also says past and future lives in 3 joules. Or, but those rejections are based upon the rejection of karma and its consequences. All right. You would reject past and future lives because you're rejecting cause and effect. And if you don't believe me, take course ACI 4. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm moving a little too fast, guys, but I have to finish early. So how do wrong views play out in your life? And this is the more interesting part. Well, you become a person of wrong view and you become a deceitful person. Like you will cheat people, you will mislead people. Why? Because you don't believe that what you do has an effect. So you just do what you need. You just do whatever you want. Eventually your karma will catch up with you. And because of this, okay, this is the most depressing part, and we're going to leave it on depression, is you live in a world where the single source of actual happiness is slowly disappearing. You live in a world where people think that it's okay for a president to conduct sexual misconduct and it's celebrated. Where you think that unclean things are actually nice. I mean, Donald Trump, come on. Like, I'm not even talking about him as his policies. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is I mean, the amount of sexual misconduct that he just tells everybody about and it's okay. And you want to elect someone like that? And people want that. Okay. Well, that's due to the karma of rejecting cause and effect. The karmic result of rejecting karma and emptiness is to have presidents that are corrupt. Okay. Right. It's kind of a sad world. And the sad part is there's no place to go and no one to protect you. The opposite of that, okay, let's leave it on a depressing note. The opposite of that is that if you understand these last 2 classes as a foundation, if you understand and work to, using your logic, using your meditation to see how all causes have results and everything you're experiencing is coming from a previous cause, which is the way that you treated people in the past. To live that way can create a paradise, as can create the opposite. Because then you start there at number 10. Your world becomes cause and effect. Everything I do has a result. Everything is coming from a result. Oh, let's look into my mind. I got a lot of jealousy. I got a lot of ill will. And those poisons in my mind are motivating me to have a gossiping conversation about somebody outside, are motivating me to not protect life, not protect other people's things, not care for other relationships, things like that. All right. So you put all of that together. The negative side is the negative side. The positive side is what do you want to do now? You have the choice. It's up to you, because your world is your world and your world is not my world. Okay. What world do you want to see? Right. And then just get your book out of the rain and start writing it. Okay. We'll talk about that later. All right. So we are a class behind, and that's okay. We will catch up. The next 3 classes are LumRim. They're my super favorite. I love LumRim. I'm a LumRim, but I love LumRim. Okay. And we're going to see how it's connected to the Vinaya in the next 3 classes, like all the steps on the path. How do we go from here to there? How do we go from here to becoming a being who can do all of those things? Right. Okay, cool. Thank you all very much for joining today. I very much appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do. Thank you, Katie, for being an ambassador for ACI. Katie has a nice little background. Okay. Called the ACI ambassador. She is helping us fundraise for our end of year campaign. If you would like to help us fundraise, please reach out to me or to Ale. It's fun. You get a background. You can make other people jealous. Get it? Good kind of jealousy. All right. Thank you all very much. Let's say goodbye.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.
Muchas gracias, maestro Tim.
Gracias, Tim.
Merci.
Grazie mille, team.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Muchas
Tim.
gracias.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye,
Have a
Tim.
nice day.
Thank you,
Have a
Tim.
nice day.
Thank you.
Buona giornata. Ciao ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Happy weekend.
Fin savea, tesors.